And then one performance that night was slightly more controversial. Hey folks, and welcome back. Today we will be talking about Coachella Weekend 2. But before we dive in, remember to like, subscribe, follow, click those notifications so you never miss any pop culture updates. And also remember to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and also here on YouTube at Xandar Blankenship. Alright, and let's dive in. So last time we talked about Coachella Weekend Part 1, and we had a whole list of celebrities, shows, and things going on. And for those who weren't able to attend last episode and maybe don't know about Coachella, it's a huge music festival that takes place in California, primarily featuring pop music. And then this weekend, or this past weekend, whenever they had the second part of Coachella, it took place between April 17th through the 19th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And this year's headliners was Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. Friday night was Sabrina Carpenter, then Justin was on Saturday, and Karol finished it off with Sunday. They gave amazing performances during the first weekend. There were a couple controversies with Sabrina's and Justin's, but Karol G made history with hers as the first Latina to headline it. And so this weekend, or this past weekend, whenever they did the second part of it, they had several more amazing shows. They had brought out many special guests. And so let's dive into it and let's break down how the second weekend went. So starting off Friday night with Sabrina Carpenter headlining, she brought out a very special guest. According to Complex, she brought out the one and only Madonna to perform her songs Like a Prayer, Vogue, and Madonna's new song, Bring Your Love. This marked the 20th anniversary since Madonna's Coachella debut. So it was a very full circle moment. Madonna and Sabrina Carpenter were both up there singing. They were wearing stunning outfits and gave such a memorable performance there, and was probably one of the biggest guest stars brought up out of all of Coachella. And the weather turned out to be really great that weekend. Sabrina had her lovely Sabrina Wood cinematic set as always. She put out a great performance, and we also had some other performers that night. According to the Billboard Music News, Anima got to finally perform. Anima's performance was canceled the weekend before due to bad weather and strong wind conditions, but we were able to get that performance again this Friday night, and critics well received it. Everyone loved it, and Anima did an amazing job performing. And Anima also brought out Blackpink's Lisa and Joji. So they all performed, gave a wonderful performance, and that takes us into Saturday night. Now, Saturday night, we had Justin Bieber headlining again. This one was much better received than the last one. Last time he used a lot of YouTube videos to do his performances, and this time he sang a lot more in person, and he brought out some special guest stars this weekend. According to Nate Jackson in the Los Angeles Times, Bieber brought out the one and only Billie Eilish, who is a huge Bieber fan, for One Less Lonely Girl. She brought out her for that performance. Fans loved seeing those two interact together. And he also did some duets with SZA, Sexy Red, and Big Sean. And then according to the Hollywood Reporter, Addison Rae also performed that night, and she brought out the one and only Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo had just released her new song, Drop Dead, which I listened to it. It is fantastic. She released that the Friday before. So it was a great opportunity since she had just released that song. Terrific marketing. Plus, everyone loved seeing those two interact, and both are amazing singers. People love seeing them up there together. And then one performance that night was slightly more controversial. According to Variety, the Strokes had also performed Saturday night, and at the end of their performance, they ended with their show with a video slide that seemed to call out the US government on some issues. It featured the US bombing Iran, and it featured Martin Luther King Jr., his death, and some things involved around it. And it also featured Israel bombing Gaza. And it seemed to point a lot of blame for all these events onto the US government. And several leaders and people in positions of power. And so that was received with some hesitation. For the most part, according to Variety, their fans seemed to accept it well, and many people seemed to accept it at the time. A couple people weren't too fond of it, but for the most part, people seemed to be in some sort of either agreement or was okay with it, but not everyone has fully spoken up. And this was just within the first couple of days that these reports were written. So we'll see if this leads to any future controversy or anything in the future. However, they are still scheduled to perform at Golden Voice's Southern California Festival in August, and nothing has been canceled with it. They're still set to perform. So we'll see if this controversy and this speaking up leads to anything, how it continues to be received, or if everyone will continue to receive it well and things will just move on. But as of now, everything seems to be well and they're still set to perform. And then another performance Saturday, according to the Gold Derby, was Casey Musgraves, which was a last minute addition. And they managed to get her scheduled, and she performed at the last minute. So that was included in Saturday's lineup as well. They had many people performing. Of course, Justin Bieber headlined it, and he had all of his stars: Sexy Red, SZA, Billie Eilish, of course, up there. She didn't really sing with him, but she was up there to be the one less lonely girl, as Justin Bieber sang to her. And it is such a full circle moment for that as well, given Billie Eilish is such a huge Justin Bieber fan. And so Saturday was definitely a full-packed day. Lots of things happened. And then that leads us on into Sunday, where we had Karol G performing again. She is the first Latina woman to ever headline the festival, making history again. She delivered another awesome performance. It was so well received. And according to Nate Jackson in the Los Angeles Times, Karol G performed with J Balvin and Peso Pluma. And she brought them up on stage, performed with them. She had, of course, her amazing dancers in the back, an elaborate set showing off all of her talent, showing these collabs with them. And she also announced at the end that she would be starting her next tour soon. So everyone was so excited to hear about that. People are waiting to see how that goes. And hopefully we'll be getting some more updates on that soon. But I definitely love that she was able to announce it at such a big event and just such a special moment for her to say it. So that pretty much takes us to the end of our Coachella performances. All the performances seem to go a lot better this time. The only slightly controversial one was the Strokes, which seemed to not cause too much major controversy yet. We'll see how it continues in the future. Justin Bieber's was much better received, and no video circulated of Katy Perry this time, calling out where he used the YouTube videos, and everyone loved seeing him do the duets with all these different celebrities and people from his past. And of course, Sabrina Carpenter was fantastic as always. And I really enjoyed watching several clips of them perform. Once again, I would still love to go to Coachella, hopefully someday in the future. But for now, the YouTube clips will work. And I can't wait to see what they do next year for Coachella. So this wraps up our Coachella adventure. Make sure, as always, to like, subscribe, follow, turn on those notifications, and find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Xandar Blankenship. And as always, keep listening to pop music and stay tuned for more.